Good evening, fellow Tcash merchants, and welcome to our Tcash Soko online training session today. This is our last session of the week. My name is Amos, and I'll be guiding you through this session. Tcash Soko is an amazing platform. In the course of the week, we have been able to unpack a number of advantages of the Tcash Soko platform. Amongst them has been or was the easiness of you to set up your shop, and of course the easiness of the easiness that the app has brought for you to, of course, fix your shop. Once you have fixed your shop, the easiness that the app brings to you to make the sales, the records that the app helps you to keep. And of course, remember, we didn't forget to mention the opportunities that we have to earn more with the Tcash Soko platform. Amongst these, one of the ways through which you can earn more through the Tcash Soko platform is by becoming an affiliate of the Tcash Soko. It's also by earning more on deliveries, something that we have not been doing. Most of the businesses have not been doing. You can now deliver to people. And as you deliver, because wewe ndio unajisetia delivery fee, unaweza ku-earn. So Tcash Soko has so many amazing advantages. We have done so many sessions in the course of the week. In fact, we have done 14, and this is our 15th session of the week. In case you have not watched, kindly take your time, go to YouTube and watch these sessions. You will stand a chance to benefit. You will unpack the advantages that are there of the Tcash Soko platform. So our last session of the week will be on how we can be able to prepare ourselves for future credits and stock financing. So what is future credit? Credit ni deni. Remember, we are not talking of like venye tunakupea deni right now. We are talking about how wewe utaweza kujiprepare using Tcash Soko for future credits. Yani venye unaweza chukua credit baadaye, or rather venye unaweza pata stock financing. Let me start this session this way. So many of us in the business field have suffered in one way or another. There has been some form of discrimination yenye imekuwa there. What has been the cause of this discrimination? Cause ya hii discrimination imekuwa ni inconsistency in our records, such that ukienda kwa bank kuomba loan kama mtu wa biashara, then the bank requires you to provide a collateral. What do I mean by a collateral? Collateral ni unaambiwa uwekelee kitu ya an equivalent amount, just in case ushindwe kulipa, then watauza hiyo kitu. For example, kuna watu wengi wanaambiwa uweke car logbook ama uweke title deed. So ukienda ukiweka title deed kwa bank, inamaanisha that the bank is holding the title deed just in case ushindwe kulipa, then watauza shamba yako. Just in case ushindwe kulipa, kama uliwapea car log, watauza gari yako. This has been unfair to us as business people. Why? Because watu wenye wako kwa employment, hahitajingi kuweka collateral, anahitaji tu pay slips za the last 6 months or 3 months na anapewa loan. What is this app going to do to us? Hii app itakuja kutusaidia kupata credits. It will not assist us now, but assist us to get credit in future. Why? Because as we just saw in our previous session, receipt, records, and performance tracking, the app is able to store our records consistently. So sio ati hatujakuwa na records before. Kuna some of us wenye tumekuwa na black book kwa business zetu, uko na black book and a pen, umekuwa ukirecord every sale. But hizo records sometimes cannot be trusted by a financial institution because hakuna evidence ya transaction. Wewe umeandika tu receive pesa, but there is no evidence of that transaction. So this app itakuwa inatusaidia because itakuwa na evidence ya transaction. Ni kama it's just like there are some people wenye wako na what I would refer to as good transaction history with the bank. So like wana bank sana pesa yao. For this kind of people, because of that activity that they do, the banking activity that they do with the bank, unapata mtu anaweza pewa a loan, a very big loan, based on the kind of transaction amekuwa akifanya na bank. So this app will be helping us build such kind of a profile. But how should we prepare ourselves for future credits? I'm sharing my app with you. The side of the app I'm sharing is the business side of the app. This is where you get to prepare yourself for future credit and stock financing. How do you prepare yourself for the same? You prepare yourself by making as many sales as possible. Let me repeat that again. You prepare yourself by making as many sales as possible using the app. How do you make sales using the app? Unakuja tu hapa kwa sell. Hapa sell is at the middle, hapo chini kabisa at the middle. Hiyo ndio option unaguza. The moment you umeguza you want to sell, either using the catalog, express ama voice assistant, na uuze. For instance, I just want us to make a sale so that we see how it affects the numbers. Okay, but before I make the sale, let me just go back to home a bit. Ukiangalia kama performance today is zero, because today's performance is zero, nikiuza, this performance will change. Itanionyesha that I have some performance. Then I'll just connect that with how you prepare yourself for future credits. So if I come to sell, come to catalog, then decide to sell maybe a product. I'll just sell a product like the gel manicure. I add it to cart. Of course, key process here making a sale, we had discussed it before. I'll not discuss it because there is a whole session on it. It is called Make Your First Sale. You can watch that and get to understand what we do when we are making the sale. Utakuja hapo kwa checkout. Once uko hapo kwa checkout, then there are these three ways of receiving your money: the Soko QR code, the cash payment, or the external wallet. Once nimeguza cash payment na ni confirm, inamaanisha that I've already been paid by that person. So this transaction has a receipt. That is the first thing. Iko na receipt. Apart from that, image record. How will I know that it has recorded itself? Once I press that I'm done and come back to home, hapa kwa today's performance imechange. Inanionyesha that today's performance is 200. So if I go to sales insights for this month, I'll be able to see that I've sold 200. Hii sales insights inatumika na hii app because the app is AI enabled, iko na integration ya artificial intelligence, inatumia hii today's performance to create something we refer to as credit score. Tuelewane hapo. I started by saying that there has been injustice in the financial sector towards business people. Like for us as business people, imekuwa lazima uprovide a collateral ndio upewe loan, because the bank has not been trusting you because of the inconsistency in records. When you make sales using this app, records zinamakiwa at real time. Ukiangalia, for example, we just made a sale and today's performance has already been updated in real time. So when I have sold over a period of time, those records zitatumika kunitengenezea a very good credit profile. My credit profile will be made by the number of sales I make and also the number of purchases I make. Remember, the app has two sides. There is the personal side and there is the business side. Kwa personal side, tumesema in the course of the week that you can buy from other shops. For example, unaweza kuwa there is somebody who brings lunch to you in your business. You can be buying lunch using the Tcash Soko app kama yeye mwenyewe akona Tcash. So when you sell more and when you buy more, you are able to, of course, prepare yourself for future credits. Your future credit rating itakuwa inakuja wapi? Itakuwa inakuja on the personal side. Remember, a business is not a person. A business is owned by a person. Deni haiwezi pewa biashara, itapewa the person who is now you. So your credit score inakuja to the personal side. So once I touch the personal, nita switch to this personal side. On this personal side, some of the things I'll see is the T-cash balance, the amount of money I've spent today, the number of lottery tickets, the number of bookings, and so on. So hapa credit score yako utaionea wapi? Pale juu kwa profile picture icon. Remember, you get this profile picture once you have done your KYC. And again, you start making your profile credit score once you have done your KYC. Ukifanya KYC, which we said utaifanyia tu hapa kwa hii page, then you get to connect yourself with a T-cash wallet, which is in form of a phone number. Then your KYC is completed, and then just below the KYC, there is the credit score. Hii credit score yako itaji-update automatically over time. You'll be moving from one credit level to another over time. So like based on the transactions that you wanna make. Utakuwa unaona like for example, since I've been active kutoka February, I'm still on new. Mbona niko still on new na nimekaa for 2 months kwa app? The reason is I've not been making so many transactions using the app. I've not been selling a lot using the app. The moment I sell a lot using the app, credit score yangu in 6 months time inafaa ikuwe imechange from new to another level. So you need to understand which levels are there. There are these credit score levels that are there in the app. There is one that is called new. New ni mtu mwenye tu amejoin. Mtu mwenye amejoin, so hana very good track record. The app doesn't know the person. The app doesn't have track records of the person. Huyo mtu atajipata kwa new. The moment transact, just like myself, the moment transact, ni make sales using the app, ni make purchases using the app, the credit score can move from new to low. Ikimove from new to low, inamaanisha that I have 1 star in credit rating. Okay, when you have 1 star in credit rating, bado banks haziwezi kuamini. Nobody is trusting you with their money. You still have to do it. You still have to build that profile. You still have to transact more. Remember, we said that this app is coming as a very important app to us as business people, because inatusaidia pia kupata a very smart way of advertising our businesses by sharing our business link with people. So the moment I share that link and people just keep on transacting with me, I will move from low to fair. Niki move to fair, the fair option would mean that now, because I have 2 stars, people can trust me a bit. Or even financial institutions zinaweza ni trust. However, nikiwa kwa fair siko safe, because nitakuwa napewa interest ya juu, very high interest. Hakuna watu tunapeangwa very high interest kama watu wenye tuko in the business sector. Ukiangalia interest za watu wako in business sector na watu wenye wamekuwa employed na something like the government, watu wenye wamekuwa employed by the government hawapewi interest za juu. But for us in the private, our interests are usually very high. Unapata some institutions wanapay 18%, others 22% based on your credit score rating. However, ukitransact sana, credit score utai-move from fair to good. Yani ita-move to automatically. This credit score si ati zina-move, ni wewe unazi-move. Okay, si ati zina-movewa na mtu. Remember, this app has already been AI enabled. So meaning it is using artificial intelligence to make some decisions. So itakumove from one credit score to the other so long as you meet the threshold. So itakuwa inakumove tu automatically. Ikifika good, it means unaweza access products with reasonable terms. That means kama ni interest hatukupei 22%, sa tunakupea around 12%, 11% thereabout, and of course we now trust you. So ukifika kwa good and when you having good, uko better sasa. But that doesn't mean you stop transacting. The more you transact, you find yourself in the great credit score. That means wewe ni mtu financial institutions in a trust sana, and they can give you credits worth whichever amount you'd want. And of course, you can find yourself in the elite if you're transacting very highly on the app. If you have a credit, if you have a elite, sorry, credit score, then you access the least amount of interest zenye ziko available kwa market. So because you are a reputable business, I just want you to know as business people ya kwamba there are some companies zenye zinapewa loans na bank very easily. And let me not just even talk about companies. Let me even talk about the government. The government keeps on borrowing money from financial institutions. Na mbona financial institutions ina finding it safe kukopesha gava pesa? Because gava credit rating yake ni elite. Like government will pay back its debt no matter what. So when you are in that elite state, wewe ni kama government, like you can access a lot of credit and at reasonable terms zenye ziko kwa market. Gava right now ikisema, when the government says it wants, for example, 1 billion, banks watakuwa na queue, wana compete who will give the government this money and at reasonable terms, because they know one thing with government, that the government will always pay. So when your credit score is elite, everybody can give you credit. Kila mtu anaweza kupatia credit. And of course, you're able to get that credit with very low interest because of your exemptional credit score. So that is all about the credit score. So does this credit score affect stock financing? Yes, it does. How does it affect stock financing? Remember, it is not just you mwenye atakuwa na Tcash. Pia suppliers wenye wanakuletea items zenye unatumia kwa shop yako wako na Tcash. So sometimes unaweza amua kufungua another branch. Of course, why are we in business? We're in business because we intend to make money, to of course uplift our lives and live comfortable lives. That is the reason as to why tuko kwa biashara. So because we're in business, it is necessary for us to ensure that tuna expand biashara zetu. We're expanding our businesses. Expand biashara would mean that you open another branch, or you even go to a bigger store or a bigger location and something of that sort. Sometimes it is very expensive kufungua shop mpya na we stock immediately. So how is this credit score going to help you? Your suppliers watakuwa na offer something we referred to as pay later in the course of the week. Tukasema pay later ni penye unachukua an item on credit, na ukichukua this item on credit unalipa baadaye. So it's not just you who can offer pay later to your customers. Remember, you as a business person, you're also a customer to your supplier. So if your supplier is also enrolled on Tcash and you have an exemption of credit history, anaweza kupatia items zake on pay later. That is stock financing. You're able to get stock for money that you don't even have. Ukipata hiyo stock, what do? You start making sales. The moment you start making sales, unaanza kulipa. So you're making your profits at the same time repaying the debt. Isn't that interesting? So there will be no limit to how much you can achieve as a business person with Tcash. Why? Because it is opening the doors for you for future credit and stock financing. But how do you need to prepare yourself for this? You just need to transact using the app. So there are a number of steps that I'll give towards the very end of this session that you need to take to prepare yourself properly for future credit and stock financing. Let me talk about credit a bit. And because some of us have been messing up with credit somehow. The moment you take credit, you need to be very intentional on what you're doing with credit. Because if you're not intentional on what you're doing with credit, utakosa generate enough money from the credit to, of course, repay the debt. So how do you ensure that utaweza kulipa hiyo deni? You make sure that you invest that money in the intended business. For example, kama nilichukua deni so that I can open another store, I open that store because that way I'm able to generate money. So which steps do you need to take to prepare yourself for future credit and stock financing? What you need to do is you need to first of all have Tcash Soko app. Once you have the Tcash Soko app, then the next thing that you need to do is that you need to have your shop fixed. Once you have your shop fixed, start selling using the app. Remember, the app offers you 3 ways in which you can receive your money, and therefore you shouldn't have an excuse as to why you're not using Tcash. The first way is the cash payment. So the app allows you to receive money in terms of cash. The second way is the scanning of the Soko QR code. So the app allows you to sell to Tcash Soko customers very easily by just allowing them to scan your Tcash Soko QR code. Thirdly, the app allows you to receive money from external wallets. And by this, I mean M-Pesa. So it is allowing you to receive money from M-Pesa. So when you make these sales, when you are selling using the app, you're building your credit score in the background. This will not take a day. It will not take 2 days. It will not take 1 month. It will take a whole 6 months. It's a journey. So the earlier you start it, the better, because your credit score is assessed at the end of the period 6 months from the time you started transacting using the app. That is when now the AI is able to have sufficient information to place you in the correct credit level. When you're in the correct credit level, you can be able to access pay later. You can also be able to, of course, access credits from banking institutions using your transaction history as stored in the app. So this brings us to the end of our session. Prepare for future credits and stock financing. This being our last session of the week, allow me to thank you for attending our sessions and for learning together with me the great advantages that the Tcash Soko is bringing to our biashara. In case you have any question on any usability of the Tcash Soko app, kindly feel free to get back to me via the comment section below. I'll be responding to your questions as soon as I see them. Let us continue winning. Let us continue preparing ourselves for future credits and stock financing by transacting using the app. Why so? Because our businesses will at one point require credits and stock financing to expand. And we can always access this money when we are well prepared with the correct credit scores. Have a great weekend. I wish you success in your businesses. Let us keep winning with the Tcash Soko app. Thank you.